Live from a kitchen somewhere in Las Vegas, it is Keto Cooking. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Tom Glover, the Keto Cook. Well, today we're going to be doing pork again, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to start adding in a little bit more. A week or two ago, I added in some spaghetti squash and stuff. But I have one cook that reminds me from when I used to live back in North Carolina. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking pork shoulder that I had cut up and into steaks. Actually, they sell these and they call them pork steaks. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to oven roast them first. I'm going to get a nice crunch on them. But then I'm going to take a red onion, okay? I'm going to saute that up with some crushed red pepper. And I'm going to be making it in with some apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to make like a Carolina-based sauce for this pork. Now, with the onions, little red onions. Now, I used to use apples, green apples, red onions, and make this mixture, and it was to die for. But we're going to change it up. We're going to lay off the apples because I still am trying to get my numbers back in shape again. So let's cook. Okay, now I got the pork out of the package. I have it on a rack inside this hotel pan, actually a full-size half pan. Reason why I'm using this is because I don't want it to splatter all over the oven. This is going to be oven roasted. Now, here I have my Tommy spice, but this is what I call Tommy Spicy Spice. Let me open this up a little bit. Now this is a combination just about the same as my regular Tommy Spice, which is salt, pepper, garlic, and onion. Only this has a little something else, two other ingredients added to it. In there is cayenne pepper and also some paprika, smoked paprika, mixed into here just to taste this a little bit. Gives you that little kick of heat, but back in the throat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly hit these with a little of this. No, not too much. I don't want it to overpound. Now I like it. Marie likes hot stuff, but not that great. Now this is my other stuff. This is my pork blend. Okay, I use. A lot of times if I'm doing a pork shoulder, a whole pork shoulder, something in here. Now in here is leftovers from when I make sausage. Okay, so in there is some Himalayan salt, big pieces of rock salt, which one you want to call it. Fennel seed, some fennel, sage. All the mixings that you would put into a sausage, I put in here, and I like to get the cover on it here. This is good on making, especially if you have. Make sure it's on there. Just spread this on here also. Keeps that little sweet flavor. There's no sugar in here, but it has a nice flavor to it. All right, we're going to go well above and beyond, just a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm just doing one side, no sense doing both sides, because what I want to do is I want to render this down, and I want to get some of that fat out of there, and I'm going to separate the fat from the pork juice itself, and that's when I'm going to add in, I'm going to make some garlic. I'm going to add in some of my apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, okay? And I'm going to make a nice sauce from their natural juices. Going to go into the oven, start out at 350, and probably going to jump it up to 375 to 400, depending on how it looks. Now I'm also going to add, like I said, red onion, but I'm going to add to this, I'm going to add a little knob of this ginger here. I'm going to really kick this up pretty nice. So I'm going to cut this ginger, okay? And I showed you before how to peel this. Just take the back of the knife, scrape it down, just go around the whole thing. And then I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a microplane and I'm going to grate this in with the onions. Man, it's pungent. Love the smell of ginger. Okay, I'm going to put that off to the side, and there you have it. Peeled up nice and easy. I will microplane these, okay, get it down into what I'm going to add into the onions. Now, what I'm going to do with the onions here, like I said, back in the day, I used to make a red onion, green apple sauce for pork chops or pork tenderloin and stuff. It is fantastic tasting. Apple is not great for me right now because of raising my blood sugar. We're trying to get that under control. So, all right, I'm going to cut this up. One shot right here, down the side. Open it up. Now, I like using red onions. Has a great flavor. I also like to pickle these. Look at that red coming off into my fingers. Like I said, I also like to pickle these. These are fantastic. And that's going to be one of the other things I'm going to do. Fermented foods. What we're going to make. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful onion. Okay, I'm going to chop this up. I'm going to start putting all the stuff together. Then I'm going to cook separately and then add everything together. Now these are all pretty much cut the same. Alright, I'm just going to leave them like that, put all this together. I'm going to get the microplane. Now, make sure there's nothing in there. I'm going to grate this down. Ginger is very, very, very potent, but also great antioxidants in it. And calms your stomach down a little bit too if you have stomach issues. Very good. I make ginger ale. If you've seen a couple of my earlier videos, I would make ginger ale. What I would do is I'd boil this down steep it just like you would do tea, and drain it and put it into a separate bottle. And then I would add a little bit into club soda with lemon and lime. And I tell you what, well, just by itself, you have yourself a great, great, real ginger ale. I don't know if you go into the store and you look at ginger ale, you read the ingredients, and nothing says anything about ginger on it. It's a shame. It really is a shame. Okay, let me get this out of here. Then onto the onion. Now, I'm going to saute these up, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do different here. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take one piece off of here. This is also, if you want to color it too, and also another good additive to this right here would be turmeric. Yeah, fresh turmeric. Whew, man, I tell you what a combination. All right. Saute pan's heating up. There's my girl Olive. Putting her in. Now, I'm going to spice this up a little bit with just a little bit of heat. Not much. Not much at all. All right. Now, I'm not going to add any butter to this because I want to get the nice flavors from the ginger, the garlic, and the red onion. As you can see, it's starting to pan up there a little bit. All right. Now I'm just going to let that cook down for a little bit. The aromas are ready. Boom, right off the start. Amazing. Caramelizing up nice. Oops, get in there. What a flavor. Okay. Here comes the magic. Shake it up a little bit. Have to sign the vinegar in here. Now this is going to change the whole complexity of this whole thing right here. I'm going to cook these down. You're going to absolutely see a change in the color. And then we're just going to let this simmer for a minute, and then I'm going to shut it down, and I'm going to wait for the pork to get finished. The pan drippings, I'm going to separate the oil from the drippings themselves, actually from, let's call it, pork juice. We'll get rid of the fat in there. You need a little bit, but not too much more. And it's going to add to this, and that's going to be my, let's say, my gravy. As you can see it's starting to change color here a little bit. Okay. You don't want this to evaporate too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it one quick flip. Everything spun around here. Always clean up the sides, make sure everything's not sticking to the side. Get everything back into the pool here. Look at that. Man, look at that. The aromas are like unbelievable. We'll be back. Alright, out of the oven. They seem pretty tender right here. So what I want to do is be able to slice these down. So I'm going to let it cool a little bit. I'm going to take them out, let them cool off. Then I'm going to separate the oil that's on the bottom from what you see on the bottom of the pan, right down here. Okay, and I'm going to get that off that pan, and then that's going to go in to the onion. Okay, the onion mixture, look at that, boy, that really looks good. The aromas are unbelievable. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, now this maneuver here, as you can see, all the oil is right there in that corner. So it's just a matter of letting it sit, keeping it up this way for a little bit, and let it, we're just going to pour it in. Now we're going to get most of it out. Let me wipe this down here a minute. You always want to make sure that you got your vessel cleaned off before you put it up onto the fire. Now we want to put this on low, and I'm going to add some water to it, and I'm going to add some of this mixture. So what we get off the bottom of this, we're going to try to put into this. All right, then we're going to make that nice sauce, slice up the pork really thin, and this is going to be I'm telling you, this is fantastic, delicious. Now, with this oil right here, once it cools down a little bit, or you can put it in the refrigerator and let it solidify, put it in a Ziploc bag or any kind of plastic bag. We usually put them in store bags, tie them up real tight, and put that in the garbage. Don't drop this down your sink, please. You'll have nothing but trouble with it. All right. Fire is going. Here they're popping. That's the bottom of this pan. Now, this will have a fair amount of oil to it still. It is pork after all, but just getting some of this fond up here and get it cooking, it's going to be great. Now, by cooking it up this way, now this vessel here is not made for doing it this way, but it can take some heat. This basically comes from a steam table. We bake in it the whole bit, stainless steel. Nothing wrong with it. Now you can start seeing this thickening up here a little bit more. Let's see if I can eliminate that light so you can see a little bit better. I don't know, how's that? So basically what we're doing is we're getting the fond off the bottom of this pan. Now the whole idea is to get that juice. That was rendered juice from the inside of the pork that cooked. Alright, now we're just going to let this cook down a little bit. Add a little of Now that vinegar is starting to burn off a little bit. You can smell it a little bit. Now I'm going to lower down fire here. Now we're going to start thickening this. Alright, I'm going to shut the camera off for a minute because I'm going to switch vessels. This pan's a little hard to work with. Alright. I have them heat gloves, but I can't use them. So what we did was, now I have the juice in the corner there, and you see most of the fond that come off the bottom of it, the drippings. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just strain this. You don't want all the other junk in there. There's a big hunk of it right there in the corner, some over here, and then what's in the sieve here. So this is going to go in the sink. Very hot. Alright, so now we're going to start building this because now we have the butter in there. I put some butter in also the pan with the onions, garlic, and we have some ginger minced up in there. Oh man. I'm going to put a little bit more crushed pepper. Not too much. I'm gonna taste it, but I don't want Marie to get killed from it either. Parsley in. Just for a little color. Piece of butter. Alright, as you can see now, this is starting to thicken up. Now, you don't need to be using flour. You don't need to be using any kind of like cornstarch or anything like that. This is it right here. Now, depending on how thick you want it, because once you get it to a certain point, especially with flour and cornstarch or whatever, you'll hit that one point where it's going to break. When I say break, it's going to separate. This can happen the same thing also, but we want to keep it nice and low, just a little bit of simmer. You know I got to try this. Yeah. Whew. Wow. Okay. We're going to let this cook up a little bit. Keep it on low. We're going to go over and slice the pork. Fairly simple. Just going to take it down. Try to keep it as thin as you can. Now, I'm going to put this back in to the onion. We're going to call this Carolina gravy. That's where I got the idea from. I'm just going to slice this up. Boy, this smells really good. I got to try a piece. Now just look at this. That's the way you want to render this down here. It's got that nice crunch to it. Now, can you do this on a barbecue pit? Absolutely. This looks like a little bit of a bone on there, but it's not. Wow. Delicious. All right, let me get this cut up. As I'm slicing this meat here, let me give you the flavor profile. It is simple. You know, fermented onions, if you have a fermented red onion, you put on a sandwich or whatever, that is the same flavor, only it's a little more subtle because I added in the pork, you know, the pork gravy. Mix that together with a little bit of butter in there, thicken it up a little bit. Onions and the meat sucked up the rest of the juice, and I'm telling you, you've got to try this. You have got to try this. Now this thing swallowed up some of the onions. They're all on the bottom mixed in with the juice. Oh boy, oh boy. And I gotta show you one thing here. This old cracker right there, that crackling right there, that's gotta go on top. One more scoop of just the juice, and we're ready to go. Presenting up this plate. You know I gotta put a little green on it. There you go, man. That is smelling off the charts. Really, really good. Okay, there again. Play with your food. Can't go wrong with this. Very easy recipe. Easy to do. And here it is. Listen, everybody, stay safe. I'll talk to you next time. I'm Tom Garvey, Keto Cook. Talk to you later. Got me some stuff here from North Kakalaki. Wow. Gotta try this. Take care.